Hey guys, it's Conte doing a Star Rings video for Sky Road. And what better place to start than with level 1? So right from the first planet, the first thing you want to do is go to the windmill and get on top of the fan blades. At the top, there's a long sideways platform and you're going to want to go all the way to the left until you find a big red spring. That way you'll fly all the way across the gap where the first star ring is, and then when you're done, you'll fly all the way back across the gap to where you started. And after that, you take a couple of boosters and keep moving forward. Then you'll find yourself on a grid of terrain with a set of numbers that gives you an extra life. But we don't really care about the extra life. So skip the 3 and go ahead to the 2. Then immediately turn right and go all the way to the end, because that's where the second star ring is. After this, you'll go on to face some giant caterpillars and go on an automated trail, and then you'll come to here. On this planet, you're going to want to go to the bottom side because there's a star ring on the wall. Make sure to get a good head start, and then jump and double jump to the red star ring. Then you'll have to sidestep to one side of the wall or the other so you can move on forward. So don't spin dash on the wall or you won't be able to sidestep, and then you'll die. Then you'll be free to do a little parkour, climb up a windmill, and then go to the left again. Only this time, take the little red springs forward to the next grid of platforms. Ahead of you, you'll see a bell, and I'm pretty sure you know the drill with the bell by now. Now this one leads you up a couple of trees and does go forward for one hit, but it does keep on going to the right, so it'll actually lead you all the way around the planet and end in the tree not too far off from where you started. For the last one, move on and be ready when you get past the turtle with the bombs. Once again, you're going to want to go on the bottom and on the opposite side of the grass. And pretty soon you'll notice there are a couple of pairs of spiked balls next to each other. You can kind of tell the pattern means something because there are 10 rings between each pair. Every pair, that is, except the last one. After these 3 sets of spikes, you'll jump to another planet and you'll find one last star ring. It's actually kind of nice that they put this star ring in an unusual place. Anyway, after this, it's a free run to the finish. Okay, now for level 2. And speaking of 2, there are a couple of star rings that aren't too far off from the beginning of the level. The first one is above a set of 4 flat platforms, so get on the top one and double jump to get the ring. A few seconds later, you'll find 3 robot dragons that you can use as platforms, and then 4 white platforms with a star ring over the highest one. Again. Then keep going up and forward past the platform with the loop-de-loop and the checkpoint. You'll know you're getting close to the next star ring when you see dragons and they start shooting lasers at you. And after this cluster of rings, there's a small platform between the 3rd and 4th dragon with the 3rd star ring. But don't be too hasty to drop down and get it because, remember, these dragons are shooting lasers at you. Anyway, you'll continue onto a larger platform, and this time there are dragons above you shooting lasers. And just under the dragon near the checkpoint is a set of 3 platforms with a star ring in the middle. But with the lasers, you're gonna have to move carefully from one platform to another, or if you have invincibility, you can just wing it. There's a series of smaller platforms after that, including one with a star ring under the rest of them. Since there's a dragon that breaks the platform, you can wait for the dragon to pass and then go down. Then you'll be ready to move on and beat this guy. Then, of course, you'll be done with the level. Now, I think the star rings in level 2 are pretty easy to get, but level 3, they get harder. The reasons being that you're floating in the air and you have to move up and down properly, and that you only get one shot at each star ring. Not too far off from the beginning, you'll be under fire from some flying turtles. At this point, stay low, and when you encounter 3 turtles in a diagonal row, try to slip between them so that you have a clear shot at the first star ring. Next up, you'll encounter some missiles as well as a few clusters of rings. And you'll find the second star ring in the last cluster. Immediately afterward, you'll have turtles coming up from behind you. After they pass, try to stay in the middle of the screen because there's a star ring hovering about there. Next, you'll fly past a bunch of egg pawns parachuting, and then you'll come up to missiles again. After the 4th column of missiles, there's a strand of rings floating around and a star ring in the middle of them. The last one is between a set of 2 really large missiles. Start going down as you pass over the first missile so that you can get low enough to get the 5th and final star ring. Like I said, the star rings are harder to get here, but if you miss some of them, you can always die and restart from the last checkpoint to try to get them again. And when you're done, you can move on to destroy this big birdie ship and finish the level. So now we end off with level 4. After you knock out this guy, you have two options. Take the dash panel on the left, or climb up the wall on the right. And as you can guess, you'll have to do the latter because this happens. You can take the other way and drop down to get the star ring, but you risk falling to your death because once the camera scrolls up here, it won't scroll down again. There aren't any more star rings until you get to the first 3D section with the slide, and you'll have to wait until the end when you start seeing rows of lobsters. After you pass by 2 rows of lobsters, there are 2 long lines of lobsters that you'll have to go between to get the second star ring. Then there won't be any more star rings until you get to the next sand slide. On the first bar that you get to, go from one slide to the other and prepare yourself to go to the right, because a cactus is going to come by you and there's a star ring on the right side of him. After that, continue to the 2D section until you see 2 big rectangular springs with a bell in between them. And I bet you can guess what you're going to have to do with the bell. But the platforming may be a bit risky because it involves crumbling sand blocks, so you'd have to be wary about where you're going to jump and land and what blocks you run on. But after you're done with this one, the last star ring is a few floors up. When you pass by the area with the rhythm wisp, there's a wall you can go up, and a fairly obvious star ring in a hole on the opposite wall. So, don't miss it. Seriously, it's not even that hard to get. And then when you're done, obviously you'll have to make sure your progress is saved by going to the end and squaring off with Zabbit. And when you finish getting all the star rings here, I think you'll find the Chaos Emerald very appropriate.